We are, all of us, the residents of a swiftly shrinking globe, where what was once local is fast becoming global, and our decisions and opinions resonate well beyond our own borders. Join me each week, your host, Al Zucaro, from the epicenter of the Western Hemisphere, Boca Raton, Florida, in sunny South Palm Beach County, for a pointed look at politics, immigration, culture, and what it means to be a citizen of the world. Well, hello, folks, and it's been a while since I've had the opportunity to sit in front of this microphone and create another episode of Citizens of the World. As you may know, I have been traveling. I've been to 3 countries in the last 2.5 weeks. I've been to South Africa. I'm going to talk a lot about South Africa. You'll have to pardon me. I came back home with a cough and a cold. And then from South Africa, we crossed the border to Mozambique and went to its capital city. And that is a trip that you might want to avoid. Complete abject poverty. And then at one moment in time, we turned into a hotel in Mozambique's capital, and it was like being in the lap of luxury. It was amazing. But the most important, and perhaps the surprise of the trip, was we left Mozambique on our way back to South Africa, and we stopped in Swaziland. Swaziland is the smallest country on the continent of Africa. It is absolutely pristine. It is beautiful in its landscape. Its people are well-tempered, well-educated, neat, clean. You could almost eat off the streets, it's so clean. And it was a pleasure to have spent a day and a half there. And I recommend, if you're ever in that area of the world, that you stop in Swaziland. It is a treat. But in the meantime, today we're going to do a couple of things. And I want to talk a little bit about activities that are going on around the world through the association that I am a part of, and that's the World Trade Center in the World Trade Center Palm Beach. And it is a part of the global network of World Trade Center associations. I will, today, we're going to play a video about 10 or 11 minutes later on that's going to talk about the activities that are going on in the World Trade Center in Cape Town and Johannesburg in South Africa. And then we'll follow up on Thursday with more. But I just wanted to talk about a few things. This is really a global association. I had the opportunity to sit through the European, Middle Eastern, and African event while I was in South Africa. And I come back to a whole panoply of events that are going on around the country. Today, for instance, the World Trade Center Miami, along with the governor and the lieutenant governor of the state of Florida, who, by the way, has now become even more active internationally than when we were enjoyed the presence of Governor Bush. But Governor Scott and Lieutenant Governor Carroll were in Miami today for the Go Global. Miami World Trade Center is putting on an international fair. It's titled Breaking Down Barriers to International Trade. It was an incredible event today, and the governor has been on shows like Fox and Friends and others promoting South Florida. This event today talked about a lot of the obstacles and a lot of the regulatory issues that have to do with international trade, and it really captures the essence of the definition of international trade as a two-way street, a lesson yet to be learned here in Palm Beach County, but clearly known and executed very well down in Miami. I recommend that you go to the World Trade Center Miami website, take a look at what they've done. I'm sure they'll have their postings up. Now, with that said, I'm going to take a break and just tell you that I did spend the days in Cape Town at the EMEA conference in Cape Town. That's the European, Middle Eastern, and African Conference of World Trade Centers, and we have a lot to talk about with regards to that today. We're going to suspend, at least for the next couple of shows, the fireworks and politics and the kudos and KOs elements of the show. Just want to remind you that this entire show is brought to you by a couple of major sponsors. Fugazi International Travel is a major sponsor of our show. Palm Beach Investment and Finance, doing business as Palm Beach Regional Center, is a major sponsor of our show. And U.S. Immigration and Taxation Law, LLC. And I thank those three entities for participating. And in the meantime, we're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we will visit with Ira Sabin, who is our political commentary and satirist, and he will bring you another one of his brilliant episodes on local politics and how it applies. Be right back, folks. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My main topic tonight was going to be about what an Obama second term may look like. But because of the events of the past week, I started thinking about presidential campaigns. And I've been around and I've been voting since 1968. And every presidential campaign is marked by a turning point, a period when the campaign breaks for one candidate and the other candidate just cannot recover. In 1966, it was the rebounding economy for Bill Clinton, which gave Bob Dole no chance. In 2008, once we had the economic crisis, John McCain was done. But looking back on this year, if Republican Mitt Romney is elected president, we may look back to the last week and June as a whole as the month when the election was won. And it became clear this past month that the economic winds that propelled Clinton to a second term will not be there for Obama. And the economic numbers last week were so bad, the administration didn't even try to spin them. So ironically, the economic turmoil that elected Barack Obama may be his ultimate undoing. Thank you. And as I said, my main point tonight is going to be about what an Obama second term would look like. The 2012 election has been often been described as the most pivotal election since 1860. This is not hyperbole. If Barack Obama is reelected, the United States will never look the same, nor will it ever be able to recapture its once lofty status as the most dominant nation in the history of mankind. The overwhelming majority of Americans do not understand that Obama's first term was dedicated to putting in place executive powers to enable him and the administration to fulfill the campaign promise of transforming America. His second term, regardless of which political party controls Congress, is why his reelection is virtually ignoring the plight of incumbent or prospective Democratic Party office holders. He feels he will not need Congress. The most significant accomplishment of Obama's first term is to make Congress totally irrelevant. Under the myopic and blindly loyal leadership of Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi, the Democrats have succeeded in creating an imperial and, in a second term, a potential dictatorial presidency. During the first 2 years of the current administration, when the Democrats overwhelmingly controlled both houses of Congress and the media was in an Obama-worshipping stupor, a myriad of laws were passed and actions taken which transferred virtually unlimited power to the executive branch. The birth of multi-thousand-page laws was not an aberration. This tactic was adopted so the bureaucracy controlled by Obama appointees would have sole discretion in interpreting these written laws, which were vaguely written, and enforcing thousands of pages of regulations that Congress did not subsequently write. For example, the 27-page Obamacare bill. There are more than 2,500 references to the Secretary of Health and Human Services. There are more than 700 instances when he or she is instructed that they shall do something, and more than 200 times when they may take at their sole discretion some form of regulatory action. On 139 occasions, the law mentions that the Secretary determines, in essence, one person, not elected, but appointed by the President and reporting to the President, will be in charge of the health care of 310 million Americans. The same is true of the 2,300 plus pages of the Dodd-Frank Financial Reform Act, which confers nearly unfettered power on various agencies to control by fiat the nation's financial, banking, and investment sectors. The bill also creates new agencies such as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, not subject to any oversight by Congress. This overall process was repeated numerous times with other legislation, all with the intent of granting unfettered power to the executive branch controlled by Barack Obama and his radical associates. Additionally, the Obama administration has, through its unilaterally determined rulemaking and regulatory powers, created laws out of whole cloth. The Environmental Protection Agency, on a near daily basis, issues new regulations clearly out of their purview in order to modify and change environmental laws, which were previously passed, to impose a radical green agenda. The same is true of the Energy and Interior Departments, among others. It is clearly the mindset of this administration and its appointees that Congress is merely a nuisance and can be ignored after they were able to take full advantage of the useful idiots in the Democratic-controlled House and Senate of 2009 and 10, and the Democratic Senate in the current Congress. The stalemate between the executive and legislative branches will work to benefit Barack Obama and his fellow leftists. Further, this administration has shown contempt for the courts by ignoring various court orders. He imposed the Gulf of Mexico drilling moratorium, as well as stonewalling subpoenas and requests from Congress. By the way, they're getting ready to cite Eric Holder for contempt. Let's see how they handle that one. In his second term, the arrogance of Barack Obama and his minions will become more blatant, as he will not have to be concerned with re-election. Conservatives, libertarians, the Republican Party, and Mitt Romney must come to grips with this moment in time and historical role in denying Barack Obama and his minions their ultimate goal. All resources must be directed at the end game and not merely controlling Congress and the various committee chairmanships. And remember, you cannot legislate the poor into prosperity by legislating the wealthy out of prosperity. Thank you. Good night. Till next time.
Well, thank you, Ira. That was quite enlightening, as usual. Now, folks, I told you we're going to suspend a couple of our items today. I went to Cape Town. It was an incredible trip. I've already said that. There were a delegation of about 60 people from around the continents of Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. They all participated at the World Trade Center in Cape Town, and I refer you to them at their website, www.wtc.co.za. That's www.wtc.co.za. I'm giving you that. Right now, we're going to break away. We're going to do an about 11-minute video on the World Trade Center in Cape Town. That will take us pretty much to the end of today's show. On Thursday, I will follow up. We'll talk about the content of the event that took place. I will tell you about an event that's going to be taking place in Atlanta on Monday, and I will be there. It's a seminar where Senator Isaacson will be presenting a perspective on sub-Sahara Africa. Now, this is very timely because the World Trade Center in Cape Town is trying to organize World Trade Centers in all of the sub-Saharan nations in Africa, which is about 18 or 20 nations. So I'm going to attend this and talk about that. And then I will bring you up to speed on an event that will take place in July, which I'm hoping to attend, and that is July 15th to the 17th. It's Future Trade of Africa in 2012. So for the next few shows, we're really going to concentrate on Africa and the opportunities that they present. But in the meantime, we're going to break away. I hope you enjoy this film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's 11 minutes and a few seconds on top, and when we come back, we'll see you on Thursday evening. Thank you, folks, for participating, and I hope you enjoy this.
Just as a wave gains huge momentum and power before crashing onto the shores of Africa's dramatic coastline, so trade and growth are gaining huge momentum on this incredibly diverse continent. World Trade Centers is at the forefront of this burgeoning trade. It's on the cusp of a wave that is constantly gathering more energy. Using technology and integrating a growing global network of more than 1 million trade partners in more than 300 cities and 90 countries, World Trade Centers have successfully increased trade all over the world. The main purpose of a World Trade Center is to meet the local and international business needs of the region it serves. It supports business and government agencies involved in trade development, stimulating the economy of the region it serves. They are the focal point for local and foreign trade in a city or region, and gives companies of all sizes a platform to gain access to international markets. Now, World Trade Centers are being built across sub-Saharan Africa. The goal is simple: to increase trade with Africa through each of the regional World Trade Centers. Mokron Investments, the owners of World Trade Center Johannesburg and Cape Town, is forming business partnerships in 47 African nations to assist local business in establishing an African network of World Trade Centers. Real estate developers in each of these countries are being invited to participate in iconic property developments that will be promoted globally. These are typically mixed-use developments that include residential, office and hotel space. Independent audit reports indicate that the strength of the World Trade Center brand on average generates 18% higher returns and 11% less vacancy rates. The real estate development is supported by Mokron Investments, which is the driving force behind the establishment of the Office for International Trade in each of these World Trade Centers. The Office for International Trade links the World Trade Centers of Africa with a common mantra: increase trade with Africa. The goal is to increase trade by 1% within 5 years. This will gain Africa $70 billion in revenue, which is 3 times the current aid received from the G8 countries, and 16% more than Africa requires to alleviate poverty. In order to achieve this goal and using its technology, the Office for International Trade forms sophisticated links between companies across Africa that serve a diverse range of business sectors. These sectors range from hotel groups, conference and mission organizers, insurance companies, freight forwarders, shipping companies, finance companies, as well as sovereign and other organizations such as chambers of commerce and the World Bank. Conditions are perfect. The timing is right. Global economists agree that emerging markets such as Africa will continue to serve as the main growth area in the world economy. However, these economists also agree that to achieve success in a highly competitive global market, the emerging economies must work together. They must reduce barriers to trade amongst each other and thereby increase each other's potential to link with global markets. The World Trade Centers of Africa is well positioned to take advantage of this opportunity, to stimulate trade for Africa and to provide a return on investment for its shareholders. They transcend political borders and can benefit all business in Africa, thereby achieving the 1% goal for Africa. Seamless, efficient trade generates the profit that grows the value of local businesses and economies. It is sophisticated linkages between strategic partners that allows this to happen. Receiving the accreditation as a strategic partner of the World Trade Center literally opens up a new world of opportunity for companies in sub-Saharan Africa. A select few companies covering critical business sectors are being invited to apply for this accreditation and not only grow their businesses, but their entire local economies across the World Trade Centers globally. Strategic partners are in effect preferential trade partners. They enjoy first priority and have direct access to the business generated from international deals and trade transactions that take place between their local World Trade Center and ones in more than 300 regions and cities globally. To support the Africa 1% initiative, the Office for International Trade seeks partnerships with African companies providing business services such as freight forwarding, shipping, accounting, import-export, global sourcing, trade risk insurance, trade finance, and many more. In addition, local partners that are able to engage with government are required to cement relationships with government departments, such as port authorities and customs offices, to ensure a fully integrated solution. Contact the Office for International Trade at the Johannesburg World Trade Center, as only a select number of strategic partners can be endorsed with this accreditation in each region. The opportunities within a World Trade Center are not exclusive to big business. Each World Trade Center is required to engage local business to participate in every aspect of its global success. As a professional person active in one of 150 regions, you're invited to apply for accreditation from the Office for International Trade. A successful accreditation will ensure your regional agency license. The agency represents the Office for International Trade and is the local partner that exclusively generates business between that region and the Office for International Trade. Agency revenues will be generated through every transaction with the Office for International Trade. This ranges from trade missions, trade exhibitions, international trade deals, trade finance, World Trade Center real estate, and much more. To be qualified to carry this international accreditation and secure an agency license, applicants need to be mature business persons who have held senior executive positions in business over a number of years. In most cases, only experienced senior directors and managing directors can receive this accreditation. Alternatively, individuals with similar experience can apply. Applicants are required to attend training and assessments during a 3-week regional business school at the World Trade Center, followed by an interview with a panel of fully accredited business persons. During this assessment period, the Office for International Trade ensures that its regional agents are really experienced enough to talk business to its international clients. A regional agent is part of the global team for the Office for International Trade. They are the contributors to the Africa 1% goal. To assist in ensuring the agency's success, accredited agents are introduced to the CEOs of strategic business partners in their regions and to CEOs of other World Trade Centers. They're also automatically members of the World Trade Center Executive Club, receive sponsored international business travel, VIP conference passes, have access to World Trade Center technology platforms and office infrastructure. Only a select number of professional persons can be invited to secure an opportunity to grow their personal wealth and experience the challenges and excitement of international business. It takes drive, ambition, and superb business acumen to reach the highest echelons of the corporate world. Once there, however, the rewards are well worth the hard work. Members of the WTC Executive Club enjoy a wealth of superb benefits that may be perceived as luxuries to some, but in truth are simply a part of doing business at the highest level. World Trade Center Executive Club members are primarily supported to grow their business internationally. They receive preferential invitations to all international business meetings that take place at the World Trade Center. This includes priority introductions to CEOs and decision makers of global companies and possible trade partners. Priority on processing international trade deals via the Office for International Trade. This includes shipping, finance, and customs clearance, as well as preferential pricing on these factors. Information is critical to ensure competitiveness in a global market. Executive Club members have access to the most sophisticated, daily updated trade data. This data spans 100 global customs offices, 20,000 product line items, and 25 years of trade. They also have access to the International Law Library, international trade maps, access to guides on doing business in new regions, and much more. Internationally, Executive Club members enjoy access to other WTC lounges, office use, meeting rooms, and much more. To support their business in South Africa and across Africa, they have complimentary use of the WTC Business Air Shuttle service, an exclusive private client international bank account with a dedicated 24/7 private banker, fully accredited private financial services including travel insurance, express visa services and 24/7 emergency assistance. The World Trade Center Executive Club is your springboard to further your business success, international expansion and growth.
We are, all of us, the residents of a swiftly shrinking globe, where what was once local is fast becoming global, and our decisions and opinions resonate well beyond our own borders. Join me each week, your host, Al Zucaro, from the epicenter of the Western Hemisphere, Boca Raton, Florida, in sunny South Palm Beach County, for a pointed look at politics, immigration, culture, and what it means to be a citizen of the world.
On Nat Geo.
I'm the key against your side door. I'm a wild deer.
An important alert.
American Express is a proud underwriter of Cooking Without Looking. American Express has been a leader in supporting organizations that raise awareness and assist people with disabilities.
I rode my bicycle past your window last night. I roller skated to your door at daylight. It almost seems like you're avoiding me. I'm okay alone, but you got something I need. Well, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I think that we should get together and try them out, you see. I've been looking around a while. You got something for me. Oh, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I ride my bike, I roller skate, don't drive no car. Don't go too fast, but I go pretty far. For somebody who don't drive, I've been all around the world. Some people say I done all right for a girl. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I asked your mother if you were at home. She said yes, but you weren't alone. Oh, sometimes I think that you're avoiding me. I'm okay alone, but you got something I need. Well, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I think that we should get together and try them out, you see. La 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 la. Oh, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key.
Prepare for battle.
Come on, get me! Watch out! Incoming! 3 o'clock!
That's right. You can't get up this creek without a paddle. River paddle, new at Dollywood.